Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
It's always the same answer.
It's Olympics clue. Tanya Harding with the pipe in the back alley.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every week, this is what we do. Let me describe what we do. We choose a popular
Let's hear it.
saying, and we guarantee, or your money back, to take a shallow, hopefully comedic, once in a while even interesting, if we're lucky, educational, I've added that, have you noticed? Dive into its origins, its meaning, its usage, but we're also going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. Sorry, I got confused there. I got mixed up in my own words, didn't know which way to go. My name is Jurassic Mark.
I'm Skitty.
Good to have you.
It should be guaranteed to be a dive. We should get that
Guaranteed to be a dive. Oh, this is a dive of a podcast. Is that what you mean?
It's a deep dive.
It's a shallow dive.
It is a shallow dive. It's a dive, though. Nonetheless.
I mean, if we were recording this podcast pre-internet, it'd be a shorter podcast.
Less people would hear it if it was pre-internet.
We could still record it. We just couldn't post it or research. We'd have to go to the library.
We could research. There was no research before the internet.
I'm just going to ASMR this.
While you ASMR that one,
Diet Coke.
I will ASMR the actual king of diet beverages.
What? The king? Tell me the name of that drink.
This is Zero. Coke Zero. Zero. Before number one even.
Hero. Zero.
Before number one is zero. It's even better than number one. It holds position zero, like a pole position, minus the pole.
I'd like to see you in a
Cheers
pole position.
to you. Oh dear. It's not that kind of podcast. Well, it's another beautiful day in paradise.
Now that we've butted heads on zero sugar drinks,
I don't think there was.
Do you actually prefer that zero one?
I don't kind of think of it that way. If you had said, "Hey, here's a Diet Coke regular," I'm like, okay. If you said, "Here's an RC Cola," okay. If you like, I don't care.
Okay, what about regular Coke?
Fine.
Versus this though, but do you have a preference?
No, I'm just told that there's less sugar, but
In the sugarless ones?
Overall, like, in case you can't tell, I don't really care.
Okay,
like,
but
that ship has all sailed.
Here's my next question.
We should really have less sugar.
We've got Diet Coke, we've
Should
got
I?
Coke Zero. Have you tried the brand new Starlight?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man, I wish I had one here. Not that it has anything to do with what we're talking about.
Crystal Coke Zero?
It's called Starlight.
Oh, is that what it is though?
Coca-Cola Starlight. So I've tried the Coke Zero Starlight. My mouth is watering.
Wow.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I want to say some sort of berry-infused Coke Zero, but as far as I can tell, it's infused by Starlight.
That's what they made it? Like a meteorite came to the earth?
I have to assume. Like, why
Coca-Cola
else would you
ground
call
it up.
They could have called it Cherry Coke, right? No. What did they call it?
Starlight.
Starlight.
So they don't have a name for this
It is
flavor.
so bright. It was the
But is it clear?
first
Is it clear?
Coke I saw that night. No, it just looks like a Coke Zero.
Oh.
But it's like purpley and it's got stars on it. It's Starlight.
Does it like radiate or something?
Yeah, but it's gone from your system in 24 hours or so.
It's like straight out of... It's Coke Chernobyl.
I'd be curious.
It's Fukushima Coke.
Coke Cherry Noble. They should have called it that.
Coke Cherry Noble. And it actually glows.
With a cherry flavor. Why aren't we in their marketing
Coke
team?
Fukushima. Made with groundwater. Directly out of nuclear waste sites.
Zeroshima. Coke Zeroshima.
That's terrible.
Okay, now what? Okay.
Fukushima.
Cherry Noble. Coke Zeroshima.
That's terrible. Well, now we just lost their sponsorship. Way to go.
Coca-Cola? If we got Coca-Cola as a sponsor, I'd do way more research. I'll tell you that right now.
We could just sit here and slam Pepsi. I can't slam Pepsi products.
No, it's too much carbonation.
It's that Pepsi put me through college. True story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I worked in the
You
warehouse.
had just a slight pause there, like Pepsi put me through hell. Like I felt like there was a hell coming next.
No.
And then you're like,
Pepsi taught me how to drive a forklift.
College.
I can't say anything bad about Pepsi, but as I sit here and guzzle Coke products.
That doesn't mean you're saying something bad.
No, I'm not.
I like both meat and potatoes. Doesn't mean if I'm eating meat, there's a potato in the cupboard going, oh, fine.
You're both pretty girls.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an occasion, but there's always going to be a soft spot in my bone structure for Pepsi products.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get that. They put you through college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
So anyway, today is an interesting
I had not
episode.
heard of this.
No, here, this is a little clip from Evita. Did you ever see that?
Was that the
I know
one
you're
with-
big in musicals.
Evita, is that the Madonna one?
That's the Madonna one. Check this out. This is a lyric from
Argentina. Don't cry
That's
for
it.
me, Argentina.
At.Sixes.And.Sevens with you.
There it is. At
She does
sixes,
have a lovely voice.
Sixes and sevens with you. So you're at sixes and sevens. Have you heard this idiom before?
I had not heard of this
No,
idiom before.
this is a new one. This is one of
This
our
was sent to us from Brandners,
kind of weird hiss here. I'm trying to avoid
asking if we had, asking if I'd heard of this one. I said no, and then as it was coming up to episode 167,
it. Ah,
it was like we got to throw this one into the mix.
and did we?
Sixes and sevens, which is why we're going to do it when 267 comes around,
Oh,
because we don't want to miss it.
wait, what?
Well, here we are at sixes and sevens, but I have no idea. I know it means from its phrasing. I don't know where it comes from, but things that are at kind of odds with one another.
Right. So Pepsi versus Coke. It's a good segue, whether we intended it or not.
Right.
Your shirt versus my eyesight. We're at sixes and sevens.
This shirt is amazing. we're commenting that from the foliage, it looks like the Velociraptor in the background is trying to come out.
Yes.
Clever girl.
It does. It has like the color and everything. It has a Jurassic Park. I wouldn't have been shocked if it had a Jurassic World label on the collar inside.
It's good. I guess it could be.
But it looks
done.
good on you.
Thanks.
Good shirt. Good
Yeah.
shirt. So sixes and sevens. I can honestly say I've never used it in life. I probably won't use it in life.
You should, because it'll throw people off. No one uses it. So
Well,
it'll
here's
make you
the funny
sound more
thing.
educated.
like we'll get into origins. It'll be a short origin.
That's all sixes and sevens, isn't it? You're at some like staff
But here's
meeting.
the funny thing is we know it's a British idiom. And so here, I'll give you another clip.
One that was all sixes and sevens. Yeah.
You know who that is? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at least pretending to be British, although the last little noise there was Michael Caine. Michael Caine. Did you ever hear how you say his name? The best way to say his name? Mm-mm. Even if you don't have a British accent, his accent is so thick that if you say my cocaine.
Michael Caine. That's
his
awesome.
name with his accent.
Use that at the water cooler.
Anyway,
Here's
it's
a-
British, so I'm like, oh, this just, I'm thinking this is not going to come up in my search for movie clips, TV clips. But then out of nowhere, with no explanation, like before or after this clip, it's not like they go, what did you say? But in The Sopranos, in the most New York, are they New York?
I actually missed that whole series.
So did I. But
haven't seen
you know
an
that,
episode.
like, that accent.
Yeah.
So here, listen to this one.
Okay.
Oh, it's such a load off your helping, Maney. This whole party has me at sixes and sevens.
Like, it's so mobster movie accented, Bronx kind of accent.
Do you think it's some sort of like thesaurus-y synonym finder? So we need a phrase for at odds with one another.
Yeah, I don't know. I was surprised that it was used in The Sopranos. This idiom I've never heard. And I listened
makes
to
sense.
before and after to go, like, was there a reference? Was there something? Why did she say that? And they just keep on going with the scene.
Like everybody uses it all the time.
Yeah.
She knows. It's all sixes and sevens.
yeah,
Well, that's why you should use it.
it's weird.
Yeah. Everyone
Anyway.
knows. Everyone knows the last. Like our Elvis has left the building. That's like super common. This would make you sound like, oh, has this guy been taking English literature classes or something?
It's all sixes,
It's all
and
sixes
sevens.
and sevens, isn't it, mate?
It's not like it even rolls off the tongue.
No, it doesn't.
It's like, why are people saying it at all? Like, it's all sixes and sevens. Like, what is somebody with a
That was
list?
like if Forrest Gump was doing it. It's all sixes and sevens. Jenny.
If you had a list, it's sixes and sevens. I'm sorry, I can't use this idiom. It's sixes and sevens.
Mike Tyson is in.
It's sixes and sevens. I can't say this idiom. It's all sixes and sevens. Anyway,
Me and Buster Douglas is all 6s and 7s.
what round are you going to be knocked out in?
Well, it'll be 6s or 7s.
Yeah, he would never answer that way because he would claim to not ever be knockoutable.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Well, I came up with this fantastic little short list of seven people or situations or whatever that are at odds with one another. And
So the answer is either 6 or 7 in each case?
so you got a 50-50 chance. So I'll give you one of the names, and then you will tell me who they are at 6s and 7s with.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit of background.
I haven't been making our Origins game. I'll do one for next week for sure.
Okay. Ready, Village Children, to chime in on this.
Do it.
Just yell at your audio device. Who is 6 and 7s to the Hatfields?
The blah blah and the Hatfields. The most famous family feud ever. The McCoys.
The McCoys.
I think
Village Children, did you beat them to that one?
Oh, they had to have the McCoys and the Hatfields.
Okay.
Biggie.
Number 2. Edison versus...
Tesla.
That's a quick... Okay, you're on. Okay, so this one's going to be hard.
Okay. Tupac.
He's all 6s and 7s with Bugs Moran. And if you don't know who
Bugs
that is,
Moran.
I will fill in and you can make an educated guess. Illegitimate children. Okay. George Bugs Moran was a convicted gangster.
Oh, George Moran. Are you talking about Bugsy Malone?
Not Bugsy. It's Bugs Moran.
Spud Webb?
Was a convicted gangster who was active in the Prohibition era of Chicago.
Oh, so was it the untouchable guy? Mm-hmm. Ah.
Yep.
What's his initials?
AC?
AC.
Okay, that's too much to there.
Man. Albert Conrad.
What?
Alistair Comley.
Al
Capone. Oh, I thought I was looking for the Kevin Costner character.
Oh, that's funny. No, he was in a gangster wars
Al
with Al
Capone.
Capone.
Yeah. Geraldo went into his vault.
Exactly. That's so funny.
I was trying to think of who's the main cop guy in The Untouchables. His famous name too.
Kevin Costner.
It felt like the
7th. Okay, who is at 6s and 7s with Smoking Joe Frazier?
I'm gonna go with Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Oh man, I almost put on my Ali shirt for today. It would have been so fitting. Instead, I'm wearing my George Marone shirt.
Well, there you go. Okay, so for a time they were all 6s and 7s with one another. Steve Jobs and
Michael Caine. Steve Jobs and the guy that I'm blanking out on right now. Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Microsoft. Okay, now this one you should be able to come in quick. We got just 2 more to finish off the stretch here. Village Children, can you beat Jurassic Mark at who is at 6s and 7s with Tanya Harding?
I can't believe how hard it is when you're put on the spot. Did you hear about Tanya Harding? She had so-and-so's leg. Did you hear about... Yeah, Tanya Harding had her guys hit...
That's her.
Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan.
Nancy Kerrigan. She is beautiful.
She is, if you're really into teeth.
They make her sound like she looks like a horse.
No, she's
all teeth.
She's just horse-like.
Why so long in the face?
There's just a lot of teeth. I mean, I'd say the same thing about 50 Cent. It's just a lot of teeth there.
A lot of beautiful teeth.
Yeah, they're perfectly straight.
She is stunning. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nancy Kerrigan.
Maybe it's
for
just me.
the win.
Maybe just only I can't handle the tooth.
It's the whole tooth and nothing but the tooth. Nancy Kerrigan, so help me God.
Did you watch that Tanya movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's interesting.
I got to see it as it was happening in real life.
You were there?
Unfolding on the news.
Were you the pipe holder?
No.
It was Tanya Harding in the rink with a pipe.
It's the current version of Clue. It's Olympics Clue. That would be a great... It's like an SNL short kind of game.
It's always the same answer.
It's It's Olympics Clue. Tanya Harding with the pipe in the back alley. Okay. And final one.
Okay.
Chime in, Village Children. Who was at Sixes and Sevens with Biggie Smalls?
Hey, I called it already. I knew it was coming. Tupac
Shakur.
Whether they really were or not, who knows? But
who knows? Who knows what's really going on?
I almost wore my Tupac shirt.
Really?
I wore George Marone. I'm going to get a George Marone shirt. George, what was it? Bugsy? Or just Bugs? Bugs. Wasn't Bugs Bunny named after somebody like that? Like after...
Mel Blancs.
What? He was named after Mel Blancs?
Was
Blanc?
Blanc? I could just make stuff up.
Mel shot Blancs?
So there's these famous little kind of rivalries through history that are all at Sixes and Sevens with one another.
How about...
I think this can make this...
How about Bugs Bunny and...
Elmer Fudd?
Daffy Duck.
Wow. I like Elmer Fudd is more.
Well, he was hunting kind of both of them depending on the season. But they would switch signs on each other.
Because it was duck season or wabbit season.
Yeah. It's sevens.
That's fantastic.
I have so many stupid things in my head right now. Anyway, it's Sixes and Sevens. Yeah, there's probably even more classic head-to-head. Like, if you want to get really modern, maybe that's too fresh. But there's a little combative nature with
Russia and Ukraine.
Oh yeah, that's
a classic.
But popular rapper right now, and he's going after somebody. Do you know anything about Kanye and Pete Davidson?
Oh yes, with his song.
Did you see the music video?
Oh, I heard he wants to bury him or something.
In the music video,
I want to kill Pete Davidson or something.
In
like
the
that.
music video, there's a claymation version of Pete Davidson being beheaded, and
wow, that's a little rough.
Yeah, he goes out there.
Well, because
it doesn't actually. It's Skeet Davidson in the video.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah,
because his lawyers have told him that he can say Skeet.
Yeah, and at the end it says JK. He's doing just fine. Like, I didn't really kill him.
I thought you were gonna do like Eminem, Machine Gun Kelly.
Were they head to head? Eminem?
I don't know. All I'm saying is that Nancy Kerrigan is beautiful.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, she's got a smile that can light up an entire mansion.
It's just her name is a mouthful, right? and anyway, that's all I got to say about that.
I bet she can't say thick to the sevens. This is so bad. Okay,
just her teeth are chattering like one of those little
it's
things.
Like Jim Carrey,
It's
the fireman,
Fire Marshal Bill,
Fire Marshal Bill, and Nancy Kerrigan.
Let me tell you something.
That's Nancy Kerrigan. That's what I see.
I don't know. She just like floated down from heaven, I think.
Yeah, well,
Nancy Kerrigan.
Everybody's got their own tastes, and she can taste everything. She can chew through anything.
That's why Tanya Harding didn't try to abduct her, tie her up with rope. It's because she's like knew she could just chew through,
gnaw through it,
and then chew at the back of a car.
She was awesome.
She's like, I could rope her and then throw her in the back of the trunk, but she would chew through the ropes and the trunk.
Oh, my face is
just like her own
it's
jaws
funny
of life.
How, you feel like you could. Feel like you just say whatever about this person because you don't know her. She's probably lovely.
I said she's angelic.
Yeah, no, it's all me. It's all me.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm a fan.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah, like if I had a birthday coming up and you could do a cameo of Nancy
Kerrigan.
Yeah.
Flossing.
With a piece of tree bark.
You have a little something.
Well,
with the rope that she was supposed to be tied up with. No, she does. They're close together.
yeah, she's stunning. You cannot say anything bad about Nancy Kerrigan.
All right, I'm picking up on that. Well, we have clearly wasted enough time, but at least this time we mentioned our idiom. Sometimes
What did you do? We did.
was I still listening?
Yeah, you still did.
We wasted.
Mike Tyson.
I'm
Time. It's
stuck in a rut.
Over here.
I'm stuck in a rut. Is Nancy Kerrigan coming up in Riddle Links later?
Oh,
Maybe.
maybe.
What do you think about this, son?
I said some words. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind.
All right. Well, as mentioned, the idiom at sixes and sevens means it can mean it's in something that's in a state of complete disarray, or it can mean confusion, or it can also, what we keep referencing, it can literally mean disagreement or something coming up against each other head to head between two or more people. So here's what I was able to discover since I had never heard this idiom before. The term at sixes and sevens goes back to at least the 1300s. Originally, apparently, the phrase was on 6 and 7. And so it referred to a dice game where throwing a 6 or a 7 meant risking your entire fortune, whatever was in the game. So until the 1600s, on 6s and 7s meant to take a careless risk. So it was not used the way it is now. It was still an idiom, but because it was coming from that game, it just meant you were all in, big risk. You're like, really, you're going on 6s and 7s. Okay, I'm going to stand back and watch you take this big risk. In the mid-1600s, the term on 6s and 7s took a little turn to at 6s and 7s, and it acquired the meaning of being confused, or, you don't know where it's going. So we only, in our whole intro, we only reference it being combative, but a lot of its history has more to do with being confused. So first it was about taking a big risk, evolved to being very confused or in disarray, and then so in that state, most probably the belief that someone had to be severely confused to have made that big of a risk. So that's where the transition of meaning happened. Like, only a confused person would make that big risk. So it just went from on 6 and 7 to at sixes and sevens. But then I found some conflicting origin stories. But to follow up on the dice game that it referred to was most likely called Hazard, which is a much more complicated version of craps. I don't know how to play craps either, but
It's funny that you say that, because the only comment I had in for that was that 7 is when you have two dice, is the most frequented number rolled because of its amount of odds of it being rolled.
Right. So, yeah, I didn't
2
look.
and 12 are obviously the smallest. And
I didn't
7
look.
is the
Yeah, I didn't look up the rules of Hazard. Just that it's similar to craps in some form or another, which is funny because craps isn't 6s and 7s; it's all number 2s.
well, it's very nice.
Thank you.
There's just a low chance of number 2s actually with craps. Ironically.
So this is what I did find though, which was a little more backstory, but I couldn't. It was like one reference. I couldn't find any, confirmation of it. But Michael Quinion, we'll give him credit because I don't know if it's true. A British etymologist, on his own website about linguistics, says that it is thought that the expression was originally to set on 5 and 6, which is funny that part of that is French, part of that is English, using the French.
And the wrong numbers. That's 5 and 6.
Yeah, 5 and 6. So from the French numerals for 5 and 6. So these were apparently the most risky numbers to shoot for or to set on, and anyone who tried for them was considered careless or confused. So a similar phrase, to set the world on 6 and 7, is used by Geoffrey Chaucer in his Troilus and Cresside.
Wow.
And so that dates from the mid-1380s, and seems from the context in the Geoffrey Chaucer writing to hazard the world. So back to the game hazard the world, or to risk one's own life.
Now, do you remember the movie Knight's Tale?
Well,
Heath Ledger?
Funny enough, listen to this.
It's sixes and sevens tonight, Chaucer.
Wow.
I feel lucky.
That's
From
hilarious.
A Knight's Tale.
That said, in Knight's Tale, he had a gambling problem.
So I'm guessing
That's
they knew
hilarious.
that came from Chaucer and tied it all in
That's funny.
with a nice little bow for us today.
Yeah.
So also William Shakespeare used a similar phrase in Richard II, but time will not permit, all is uneven, and everything is left at 6 and 7. So it's in Gilbert and Godfrey's Gilbert and Sullivan's opera HMS Pinafore.
Let me tell you about the HMS Pinafore.
The quote is, "Fair moon, to thee I sing, bright regent of the heavens, say, why is everything either at 6s or at 7s?" So it's in chapter 3 of a book called Clouds of Witnesses. So it's out there. And then later in history, same guy on his same site notes a false but widely believed on story on where the phrase is. So this is what he says: where the phrase "at 6s and 7s" came from and what it really means. It is sometimes said to derive from a dispute between two City of London trade guilds or livery companies, the Merchant Tailors Company and the Skinners Company. The two argued over 6th place in the order of precedence. And so there's the battle of 6 and 7, like, are you coming in 6th place or 7th place? In 1484, the Lord Mayor of London, Sir Robert Billesdon, decided that the companies would swap between 6th and 7th place on an annual basis. This story is disproved as a source, by at least according to this guy, because of all the evidence and Chaucer, which all predates all of that stuff. So we already mentioned it shows up in Don't Cry For Me, Argentina. It's in Raoul and the Kings of Spain from Tears for Fears. Playing with Fire by Stereo MCs. And it's in way more songs and things than you would think. But so it's out there. It's much more used than I would have ever guessed.
Well, I think I might start. Using it for reals. That's a good one.
Yeah, unless you develop a lisp.
It's all 6th and 7th.
It's all 6s and 7s.
But it's a good one.
Yeah.
So instead of saying everything's all messed up, this thing's all 6s and 7s.
It was a learn. I know I learned something.
It's an educational program.
Yeah. I was happy that
what it is.
You suggest. Oh no, Tony.
Yep. Brandner's suggested this one that made it through onto the episode 167.
Love it. And if you're listening out there, by all means, if you have an idiom that sure, you could just Google it. But if you'd like, 20 minutes of nonsense before finding out what it means, where it came from.
If you'd like to randomly hear 20 minutes of random crap and 2 minutes of what something actually means.
Imagine if that's how Google was.
Well,
hey, I don't want to say it because all the Google devices around us is going to answer, but hey, Google, where did such and such come from?
And there it goes.
Is they answering?
Here's the definition.
Yes. Way to go.
Used to refer vaguely to a person or thing.
Because I said such and such. Where does such and such from? That's what it's answering. But if you did that, but you got 20 minutes of two guys that thought they were funny but weren't, and you're like, I just want the answer where this came from. That's what we are. We're awesome. The Google with 20 minutes of nonsense.
The future Google.
Yeah, this is going to be wanted by everyone.
It's like if the algorithm was completely reversed and the useless things were at the top of the list.
Yeah. Perfect. Exactly.
Oh, well, we should get into the end of things here because we're going to run out of time. People are done exercising.
People are?
They're done exercising.
All right. Well, Riddle Link is a game, and we like to play it. It's a game that requires two-part trivia-based question. No, it starts with a two-part trivia-based question and ends with a two-part but overlapping answer, overlapping by sound, syllable, words. So, for example, I don't know if you remember last week, I was so excited about this one. Our idiom last week was Elvis has left the building. And the riddle link that we left them with was, what do you get when you cross Elvis's 11th movie with Motley Crue's 4th album? Did you ever go look it up, or did you just forget all about it?
No, I was actually on Bon Jovi. I was like, slippery when wet.
Oh, funny.
Slippery when wet.
So Elvis's, did you get it?
No.
Oh, you just had this moment where you looked up.
No, that was
so Elvis's 11th movie was Girls, Girls, Girls. Motley Crue's 4th album was Girls, Girls, Girls.
That is hilarious. So it's Girls, 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 Girls.
Yes. So shout out. Who do you think got it?
Dang Alano.
Dangaleno. Of course, he probably knew the Motley Crue album immediately.
Girls.
Is that great?
That is a fantastic Riddle Link.
I was pretty excited about it.
Wow. Okay.
So that's how you play. So if in case you didn't figure it out, because that's actually a confusing one, the first answer was girls, girls, girls. Second answer was girls, girls, girls. Overlapping by, there's two answers.
Or three answers. It could just be girls, girls, girls with a triple overlap.
Oh. Fair enough. Wow. Or it could be girls, 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 girls. Or it could be girls, 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 girls. There you go. That's how you play Riddle Link. Sorta.
Kind of. Don't use that example.
Anyway, I got a couple in reference to today.
And I've got a couple as well.
Why don't you hit us off?
Okay. It's funny because I did write down the answer, but I have to think about it here. The U.S. declared independence in this year, though the idiom is in disagreement between parties.
You want to read it again?
Nope.
Well, then
the U.S. declared independence in this year, though the idiom is a disagreement between parties.
I'm going to go with 1776s and sevens.
Yes.
Nice. That's funny because I never thought about that year, but I had Spirit of 76 in my head.
Yeah, that's where I actually started.
Oh, funny.
Like the gas station. Fill it up with Spirit.
That's even
Spirit
different.
of 76.
Well, you're combining things. Because the Spirit of 76 was a movement, and they used that tag as an ad for the 76 gas station.
Oh, wow.
All stems from 1776.
We'll save this material for another episode.
Yeah, when we used 1776s and sevens.
Okay, what was yours?
Oh, right. I got to do one. Okay. The World's Fair that was in Vancouver is numerically confusing.
That would be Expo At.Sixes.And.Sevens.
Bingo. That's just for the Vancouverites listening, because it's one of those things that just stands out if you grew up in Vancouver. Expo 86. Olympics 2010.
Still around the city, like when you're in White Rock and stuff, you'll see the little park benches.
Yeah, totally.
86 park benches.
Yeah.
Okay, Village Idiom children, chime in with this little delectable treat. Nancy Kerrigan's nemesis.
Is that why it's delectable? Because she's
a delectable treat. Nancy Kerrigan's nemesis is a chocolatey snack cake.
Is it Tanya Harding Dong? Or is that the sound the pipe made?
It's a Tanya Harding Dong.
Hey, Nancy. Ding dong.
Why?
Well, I've got one
Tanya
more.
Harding Dong.
Do I have one more?
Yeah,
I do have one more.
Okay.
But we're going to leave it hanging, right?
Oh, that's a good
Dangalanowing.
I was getting excited there for a minute. Well, you can reach out to us. You tell us what the answer to this upcoming one is. DM us on Instagram at the.village.idiom or email us thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com, or whether it's the Facebooks, the YouTube, or the Twitters at 3 Minutes Gone.
3 Minutes Gone. Okay, this is it. The number of the beast is totally confusing. I'll say it again. The number of the beast is totally confusing. And just because I'm slightly afraid, I couldn't even write the answer down.
That's
I know
good.
the answer. I wouldn't type it in.
And that is 3 layers of hell.
There you go.
So, well, it was fun putting today's episode together. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a good one.
Oh, hang on one second.
Sure.
Stall.
Okay, I'm thinking of I spy.
Pick a number between.
My little eye, something that is blue. I have no idea what it is. For those of you who are
Okay,
on.
I appreciate that.
Here we go.
I'm Jurassic Mark.
And I'm Skinny.
Did we already do that?
And these are the Village Idioms.
It's the pain, 6s and 7s.
It's done.
Darkness. Hate your parents.